Hi, my name is Akshay, and I'm here to tell you a little bit about the absolutely fascinating Unruly Politics course that we are offering, and of which I'm one of the co-conveners. I'm an anthropologist, a theatre practitioner, and an activist based in Delhi. I used to be at the IDS till last year, and I've recently moved back to understand the unfurling of fascism in my backyard. Um, I want to start with telling you a little bit about unruly politics and about the idea of unruly politics, where it comes from, etc. This was around the late 2010, where a group of us at IDS started having conversations about what it was that excited us in our own ethnographic context and our own engagements with the world, and kind of coalesced around a realization that what actually excites us is what happens outside of that formal realm of policy and formal politics. It's there was something about the unruliness of the actions of the indigenous peoples movements in Brazil, to the pastoralists in Kenya, to the queer movement in India, etc., which had a certain irreverence to the formal modes of political action. And it's just around then that the Tahrir Square suddenly bursts into color, into flames. The uprising, which people call the Arab Spring, took over our public spheres, our television screens, our computer screens, etc., and a certain excitement, which gave us a brilliant opportunity to start taking this idea of unruliness in politics quite seriously. Um, to me, unruly politics is, the core of it is an insistence on new languages of politics, new political imaginations, new ways of doing politics itself. Let me give you an example in terms of languages. There's something called the Clown Army, which is an activist group in the UK and in some other parts of Western Europe. And this is a group of people who are not pretending to be clowns, but they are clowns who make themselves present at most protests that are taking place in the UK. Whether it's the anti-austerity protests, or it's vis-a-vis the old Stop the War movement, etc. It's quite a long-standing group, and what they do is very strategically place themselves between the protesters, the mob, and the intimidating riot police on their horses and with their shields and batons, etc. Now, what the police does in situations is they have this strategy of kettling in. You surround people from all different streets and directions and push them into one corner, and make that smaller and smaller and smaller until there's aggression, there's anger, there's something that ruptures, and then the police have a legitimate ground for clearing out the protesters. That's the story that they want to follow. What the Clown Army does is, when that happens, they'll come in and then they'll imitate the police, and then they'll throw roses and flowers, etc., etc. They'll clown around and diffuse the tension. In one such situation, there's a story from Jamie Heckert, a queer anarchist and sociologist. In one of these situations, the chief of the police, comes to the general of the Clown Army and says, "Excuse me, could I have a serious word?" To which the clown, thinks and then says, "Encyclopedia. Is that a serious word?" There's something very interesting happening here. What is the state saying? The state is saying, if you want to negotiate with me, I'm open to it, but you must speak my language. You must speak that serious word. The clown is not turning around and walking away, which the clown could do. Yeah? But rather saying, I will engage with you, but I will insist on my own language. There's something of that insistence on saying, no, politics is not contained within the way you have defined it, as people who are in a position to define what politics is. Of course, you go back to Tahrir Square. There was something truly radical about the fact that it wasn't revolution in the traditional sense of, a class consciousness and a collectivization around that consciousness, and then an organization, of the party, of the Politburo or whatever. There was no one that Mubarak could negotiate with or eliminate. Right? His negotiation was with each and every person in Tahrir at that point in time, and there was simply no political language or modality for that engagement, for that negotiation. Right? There's something quite radical about that insistence that we will do politics, but not through our petitions, not through through courts and through the representative democratic process. Now, of course, since Tahrir, we have seen a range of different, of different articulations of that same political impulse. I would argue, whether we're looking at something like the Occupy movements, around the world, or we're looking at at the Umbrella Revolution, or you're looking at the riots in the streets of Rio 2 years back, or you're looking at the political impulse that gave rise to the Aam Aadmi Party in the Indian context, etc. These ruptures have been continuously happening, and there is something that connects them. There is something about the political impulse that connects them, and my sense is that this is about this is a very, very radical critique of representative democracy as that aspirational form towards which we must all somehow move. It is an insistence on imagining direct democracy and horizontal democracy and other ways of organizing ourselves and organizing, the control of resources, etc. It is the recognition that representative democracy as a form has been very, very solidly appropriated by and is controlled by capital, right? And that there is that there has to be a reorganization of politics itself, and that's kind of what unruly politics is looking at. The course is, I must say, it is unashamedly theoretical. We are drawing on on meditations from anthropology, from philosophy, from politics, from a range of different disciplinary areas. At the same time, engaging with the blogosphere, engaging with the actual technologies through which these new forms of political subjectivity are articulating, etc. And we've identified over the 5 years that we've taught it. We've identified these various themes that we find are really core, are crucial to understanding unruly politics itself. I'll leave it to Pata to tell you more about the course itself. But just one more thing. Unruly politics has gone outside of ideas. It's been 5 years. There are people who've done this course and carried that excitement with them into the world. There are people who are embedded in social movements, political movements, have started political parties, trade unions, but also people who are in more mainstream development industry kinds of spaces and in governments, etc. But this is a community of people that is thinking together and beginning to act together. There are various small beginnings of projects that we're doing as a community of thought and practice, in different parts of the world. So it's not simply about a course which will end with you writing an essay. It's an invitation to join a community of practice and thought, which is insisting on reimagining the world and its politics. I encourage you to give it a shot, and hope to engage with you later. Bye.